Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Arkham City collectible Solomon Grundy wave, and these are the gold label variants. These are more or less black and gray variants, a little bit of color scattered in there. In the US, these are Walmart exclusives, and I've got a story about how I got them, but let's talk about the figures for a second first. These are kind of based off promotional material, posters and different advertisements where the characters were all done in black and gray, but they had little accents of red, blood on Batman, Catwoman's goggles, etc. Grundy looks pretty cool. He's got a little bit of blue splattered all over him. Can't wait to see what he looks like put together. These are gold label variants. So, I had pre-ordered these from Walmart.com, and I don't know how many of you guys pre-order stuff from Walmart.com, but Walmart's website is broke. It sucks. It seems like whenever you pre-order something from Walmart and it doesn't come out exactly when it expects to, it gets stuck, gets undelayed, and will never actually ship, even when the items are actually in stock. So I placed this order. It said it was coming, I don't know, early December, something like that. And of course, release date hit. Then it got too delayed. So I figured I'd wait. I kept checking. And then it said these figures were actually in stock at the website. It said if you had Walmart Plus, you can get them in 3 days, etc. So I waited, and nothing ever changed. After a while, I finally decided I'm going to cancel my order, because Walmart.com says they're in stock, but they're just not shipping. And this has happened to me before. When I pre-ordered the Page Puncher Black and White Black Adam, it didn't come out on the release date, it got stuck, and then I saw a bunch of other people getting theirs from Walmart.com. So I canceled my order, reordered him, and he shipped immediately. I thought the same thing would happen with these guys, since they were obviously in stock, at least based off Walmart's website. So I canceled them. Cancellation went to pending. Didn't even let me cancel the orders. That got stuck. So I had to call Walmart customer service, and that's always a pain in the ass. And the guy who answered, he really couldn't help me. He could only do the exact same thing that I did, attempt to cancel him. It didn't work. So I asked him if he could escalate that, which he did. And it got canceled pretty quickly. Then, of course, I decided to reorder the items. So I did that. It said they'd arrive, I don't know, late December. So I waited. Of course, bam, release date came around. They went to delayed. They got stuck again. So I waited. Nothing actually happened. So I called again. Had them cancel the order exact same way. Cancellation was pending. Then the guy couldn't cancel it for me. He escalated it to somebody else. And at this point, I foolishly decided to try a third time, because it said they were in stock. And typically, when Walmart's website says it's in stock, it actually is in stock. So I ordered them a third time. Of course, release date came around, or shipping date, and it got delayed again. So at this point, I'm quite frustrated. I called Walmart, and I simply asked the guy, can you actually tell me, are these in stock? Of course, the guy that answers can never help you. So he said he could cancel them for me because they're stuck. So I said, fuck it, just cancel it. I'll try to find them somewhere else, or wait till they're at Walmart stores, or wait till the website has them, or I don't know what. Then I started looking online. I found out CMD store had them. It's sort of a Canadian-based website. And these exclusives are not Walmart exclusives. In other countries, they're a lot easier to get. And I'll be damned if they had a bundle. And I got them for even cheaper at the CMD store than I did from Walmart. Lo and behold, I checked Walmart's website today, and they're all labeled as out of stock. I don't think they were ever actually in stock. I think Walmart's website just sucks. Walmart in general sucks. I hate Walmart exclusives. They are my kryptonite. They are the worst kind of McFarlane exclusives. Amazon exclusives, McFarlane Toy Store exclusives, Target exclusives, no problem. Walmart exclusives, horrible to get. I'm still trying to get the Vampire Batman and Eradicator. Seems like they're just never going to hit my area. But, long story short, I actually got the figures, and I got the Walmart exclusives from a different country for cheaper than I would have got through Walmart, just because of all their bullshit. So, I've got this hand for Walmart. Yeah, that's for you, Walmart. So let's take a quick look at the packaging after that long story. As you can see, gold label collection, 22 parts of Articulation, McFarlane Toys, DC Multiverse Batman, collector build Solomon Grundy. This is the first of 4 figures. Batman is in gray and black colors, so is Grundy, so is his accessories. but he's got a little blood splatter on his face there. It actually looks pretty sharp. Batman, Arkham City. On the back side, here's Solomon Grundy. Here's the parts you get with Batman, checklist of all the parts, and the rest of the wave. So looking forward to opening all these figures. They're not very practical, but they're still pretty cool display pieces. And here's the back side of the packaging of all the figures. I find it kind of interesting they don't actually show you the actual figure on the back. I think instead of showing you the picture of Solomon Grundy, they should show you Batman, Catwoman, Ra's al Ghul, and the Penguin. But that's just my 2 cents. And I did end up getting 2 sets of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, build Grundy, and the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. And getting 2 sets of these things was cheaper from the CMD store than it was from Walmart.com. All 3 times I ordered from Walmart.com, sigh. You know the old expression, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, shame on me, and my money went elsewhere. Walmart sucks! Here's this full set of gold label variant figures, next to the full set of regular figures. Oh, what's that? You notice Penguin's missing? Well, there's a story behind that too. So this Arkham City wave has been one of the most pain-in-the-ass waves McFarlane has ever made for me. When I first found the wave, it was at a Target store. They had them in the back room. I gave them the number, and they said they had them back there. But they told me they would only sell me 1 figure. And I was like, what the hell? Why would you only sell me 1 figure? It doesn't make any sense. There are 4 different figures in there. They have a box of 6, 2 doubles, Batman and Ra's al Ghul, and then 1 Catwoman, 1 Penguin. The guy said it's their policy only to sell 1 figure to each collector. And I said, okay, I can kind of get, even though that's a completely made-up policy, because I've been shopping at Target for years, but I kind of get if you're trying to say, you're not going to sell me 4 different Batman figures, a bunch of doubles, so I can go and flip them online. But I'm just trying to get 1 Batman, 1 Catwoman, 1 Penguin, 1 Ra's al Ghul. The guy argued with me, refused to do it, said the numbers linked together, and it's against the policy. First of all, there is absolutely no Target policy like that. They're just making stuff up. Maybe it's an old wives' tale, something they believe at the store. But even if there was a policy like that, it damn sure doesn't say you can't sell me 4 different figures at the same time. I ended up winning that fight and getting all 4 figures, but it was just a pain in the ass, and the customer service is not there. Do you think the CEO of Target wants them to not sell me action figures? Do you think they care if I buy 15 of the same figure? No, they got their sale. That's all they really want. Honestly, the Target employee's job is to provide good customer service and make money for Target, and he was doing neither that day. But that was a couple months ago. In the past, I had my full set to open that day, and I thought, I'll get my set to open later. And now that I had these gold label figures coming, I wanted to get my unopened set so I could have my unopened collection complete, up to date, at the same time that I get the gold label figures. So I ordered the set on Amazon. I got 3 of the 4 figures, Ra's al Ghul, Batman, Catwoman, but they gave me another Batman instead of Penguin. Okay, you know what? Sometimes mistakes happen. That's fine. Amazon's really good about bending over backwards and taking care of people. So I told them they sent me the wrong item, asked them to send me a replacement, and they did. The next day, I got Batman again. I'm like, oh my god, come on. So I told them they sent me the wrong item. They didn't give me the option to send a replacement just to get a refund, so I selected that, and then I reordered Penguin. Lo and behold, the next day, what happens? I get another Batman. I'm like, oh my god, Amazon, come on. So I tell them I got the wrong item. Once again, they don't want to send me a replacement because I guess they're tired of doing that. And frankly, I'm tired of them doing that too. So they gave me the option to get a refund, which I selected, and then I reordered Penguin again. And goddamn, I got Batman again the next day. These are obviously slotted wrong in the Amazon warehouse that I'm getting from. So, you know what? I got this hand for Amazon. So, 1 figure for Walmart, 1 figure for Amazon, and you know what? I'm going to go 2 for Target because they put me through such a pain in the ass. I don't understand why this wave is so hard. So, there was a new Indiana Jones figure at Target today. You got to spend at least so-and-so to get free shipping. Oh, I noticed they had Penguin in stock. So, we'll see how that goes. Target, the one that betrayed me first, then Walmart next, then Amazon third, and now back to Target to give them another chance. Should have my full set now. Sorry for the rant, but my god, why is it such a pain in the ass to get these Arkham City figures complete? Alright, now that these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. Almost all their stuff is done in a gray color, some are in black. These figures are interesting variants, not very practical for typical action figure photography, but they're going to be cool display pieces. and I'm a completist, so I'm going to get all the different Batman variants. In this video, we're going to take a look at each of the figures individually. We'll check out their accessories, height, and articulation. We'll go ahead and get Solomon Grundy built after that. We'll compare him with a bunch of other relevant action figures. It's going to be a long video. There's going to be a bunch of cool different scenes with each of the figures. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's start with Batman. And before we start looking at each of the figures, I just wanted to say I'm a huge fan of Batman Arkham City. It is probably my favorite of those 4 games. It is awesome. I remember getting it at release and how floored I was with it, and it has aged well. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. And just to get some of the BS out of the way real quick, all 4 of the figures comes with the McFarlane display stand. We've seen it a million times. Black Circle, Basic, and each figure comes with a collector's card. They're the gray variants. They're the exact same collector's cards that came with the original color releases, just in gray. So now let's start off with Batman, the first of 5 figures in this wave. He comes with his grapnel launcher. He's done in gray and black, with a little bit of red where there are some blood spots on him. This is the Arkham City Batman, a little bit improved from the Arkham Asylum Batman that McFarlane made, but shares a bunch of parts. So, let's take a look. Most noticeable thing is that huge red blood stain on his face. Definitely contrasts all the black, white, and gray on this figure. Pretty cool effect. Going further down, it's that semi-armored Arkham Asylum body, belt, single jointed elbows, bunch of blood on his fist there, very nice. Double jointed knees, armored shins, cape flowing a little bit to one side, but no color and very little life here. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. The sculpt is fantastic. I don't know what it is, but just something about the red and the black and the gray makes it look really good. Now let's check out his accessory. It's the Bat Claw. The sculpt is pretty nice. Of course, it's pretty much unpainted. Here's this gray variation of the accessory next to the original black version. Here's Batman holding the accessory. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 7.1 inches tall, which can translate to about 18 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, 7.4, 7.5 inches tall. Now for his articulation. Start with his head. Can rotate from side to side, like up and down, tilt, ball joint on the shoulders, up, down, around. No butterfly joint, it's actually unusual for a McFarlane figure. Single jointed elbow, wrist, rotate, hinged as well. Ball joint in torso, rotate around, another one in the waist, rotate around. His legs, do the splits, typical McFarlane joint. Forward, not too much. Double jointed knees, and his ankle, forward and back, tilt, rock, rotate, with toe articulation. Now let's check him out. Next to some of the Batman figures. Here's this new variant of Arkham City Batman. Next to McFarlane's color version. At first, I was a little disappointed with the Arkham City Batman, as he was a lot of reuse, but it's actually a really nice figure, and definitely some substantial improvements from the Arkham Asylum Batman. Then, next to McFarlane's Arkham Asylum Batman, similar, but some noticeable differences. They made 3 variations of this figure. Here's this new Batman, next to McFarlane's Arkham Knight Batman. They made 2 variations of Ark Knight, and here, next to a DC Direct Arkham City Batman. And they made a ton of variations of DC Direct's Arkham City Batman. Unmasked, Mad Hatter version, regular, battle damaged, detective mode. And now, here he is, next to the DC Direct Super Articulated Arkham City Batman. He was from Series 4. Here's this Batman, next to a DC Direct Batman from Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight. Here he is, next to a Mattel Arkham City Batman in the standard colors. And there are 5 variations of the Mattel Arkham City Batman, including another black and gray variant Mattel made years ago. This is based off similar promotional material, like posters and so forth. Here's Batman on a rooftop in Arkham City, overlooking the entire thing, planning his next move. Here's Batman taking on a bunch of orange jumpsuit Arkham City inmates. In the game, the map was full of these guys. Here's Batman in the museum, taking on Penguin and his gang. Here's Batman taking on a properly scaled Solomon Grundy. That's something you won't get from McFarlane. Then, Batman approaching Ra's al Ghul with his elite guards around him. And here, taking on the Joker and his gang, we have some tightened up Joker thugs, all kind of henchmen, ready to take down the Bat. And here's Batman taking on Clayface, just like in the final boss fight. Now let's take a look at Catwoman. She comes with her whip, and hers is done in black, just like the regular release. Starting with her face here, it actually looks pretty good. I mean, the colors are off. The red goggles really contrast nicely with this black and white figure. Collar popped up, necklace, cat ears, double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, tall boots, diaper a little bit bigger than her waist, so it looks a little odd. Backside looks pretty good though. I do remember a lot of comments, what's inside the diaper, bunch of cat litter. It just looks a little off, but not as off as the upcoming Nightfall Catwoman. And a closer look at her face and head sculpt. Now let's look at her whip. This accessory is all black, unlike the other gray versions. You can see nice sculpting on the handle there, and the whip has rope-like quality to it, made of a bendable material, but it's not a bendy wire. It is identical to the whip that came with the colored version of Catwoman. Here's this Catwoman holding her whip. Now let's check out her height. From bottom to the top, she's standing at about 6.8 inches tall, which can translate to about 17 centimeters. Now for articulation. Starting with her head, rotate side to side, up and down, tilt, shoulders, ball joint, goes up at 90 degrees, up, down, around. Looks like she also doesn't have a butterfly joint. Bicep cut, although it doesn't seem to go all the way around. Double jointed elbows all the way in. Her wrists rotate. It's going to be hinged as well. Ball joint her torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another one her waist, rotate around, forward and back, giving her very good range of motion there. Just looks a little off here as it gets a little too big. Legs almost completely does the splits. Typical McFarlane hips. Go forward about that far, back not much. Double jointed knees. Their ankle, forward and back, rotate, tilt, rock, and tiny little bit to articulation. Here's this Catwoman next to the colored version. I wish she had the goggles down, but yeah, it is what it is. Here she is next to the DC Direct Arkham City Catwoman. Then next to the DC Direct Arkham Knight Catwoman. Here she is next to the Mattel Arkham City Catwoman. This is the only 6 and 7 inch Arkham City Catwoman that has the goggles down, and I like that look. And Mattel made 2 variations of the Arkham City Catwoman, another black and gray variant, which is completely different from McFarlane's black and gray variant. Notice they both still have the red goggles. The only other Catwoman figure McFarlane has made is from The Batman. This is the best variation they made. They actually made 3 variations from the movie The Batman, and I made a 4th myself. Well, shout out to my boy Jason for sending me that painted head. We have the masked version, partially masked version, mostly unmasked version, and now the custom fully unmasked version. And here are all my different Catwoman figures from various companies. Here's Catwoman on a rooftop, overlooking Arkham City, planning her next move. And then Catwoman scaling down the side of a building with her whip. Here's Catwoman climbing upside down under a fire escape, trying to get back into her apartment. Here's Catwoman coming out of Hugo Strange's vault with a couple duffel bags full of money, just like near the end of the game. Now let's look at Ra's al Ghul. Leader of the League of Shadows. Hair's a little bit crazy. I've seen some people compare him to Goku from Dragon Ball Z. Some gray stripes in his hair, goatee, signature Ra's al Ghul look, armor, the demon's head on his arms. Can't see it too good on camera, it looks like, but his tattoos are kind of glowing. Nice little paint job there. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, Demon's head logo on his belt. I like the figure. Pretty cool. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Here's his sword. Ra's al Ghul's sword from the game. The handle is kind of curved. It's got the Demon's Head logo here. A little inscription on the blade. Here it is, next to the painted version of Ra's al Ghul's sword above it. Then, with Talia's sword that came with the sick Arkham City Joker. And Ra's al Ghul holding that sword. And now for his height. From bottom to the top, he's standing about 7.4 inches tall, which can translate to just under 19 centimeters. Now for his articulation. Start with his head. Can rotate from side to side, up and down that much, tilt from side to side. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out more than 90 degrees, up, down, around. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. Wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. His torso, one solid piece, got the soft goods overlay. You can see you kind of push in there. It does have articulation inside, but it's essentially useless. Ball joint in his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Legs, complete as splits. McFarlane type hips. Forward that far, back not much. Double jointed knees. Then his ankles, forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock, and toe articulation. Here's this Ra's al Ghul variant, next to the standard painted version. Then, next to DC Direct's Arkham City Ra's al Ghul. And here, next to DC Direct's Talia al Ghul from Arkham City. Here are all of my different Ra's al Ghul figures from various companies. Here's Ra's al Ghul with some of Talia's elite guard behind him. Here's Ra's al Ghul offering Batman a goblet. He's asking Batman to drink from the goblet. It'll help cure, or at least temporarily, his Titan symptoms. Ra's al Ghul wants Batman to be his heir. This is part of his commitment to doing that. Here's Batman at the top of Wonder Tower, taking down the Tiger Guards, about to confront Hugo Strange while Protocol 10 is going on. Hugo Strange then explains his plans to Batman, as villains often do. Ra's al Ghul sneaks up behind Hugo Strange, stabs him through the chest with a sword, surprising Hugo, establishing his dominance. Then Ra's al Ghul calmly puts his hands behind his back and explains the true plan to Batman, ridding Gotham of all criminal element, and then implementing this Arkham City strategy across the country. Hugo Strange is not completely dead. His last breath, he tells the computer, activate Protocol 11. At this point, Wonder Tower explodes, pushing Batman and Ra's al Ghul out. Ra's al Ghul lands, getting impaled, thus ending his reign of the League of Assassins. Here's Penguin from Arkham City. He comes with his umbrella. Penguin is pretty cool in the game. Short, mob boss. Not too different from his comic part, but different enough. He has the top hat permanently attached. He's got that sort of broken bottle shoved into his eye. His neck has that sort of trachea thing. Mouth open, kind of snarling. Sculpt is good. You can see the fur around his coat. He's got a vest, scarf, double jointed elbows, bandaged hand, regular hand, very small. Legs here are single jointed. One of the more articulated Penguin figures out there, though. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Here's his umbrella. It's a shut umbrella. It's got sort of a little bird head here on the handle, a little point at the end. Here's this variant cane next to the standard version above it. Here's Penguin using the umbrella as a cane. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his hat, 6.5 inches tall, about 16.5 centimeters. Now for his articulation. I'll start with his head. Of course, you can rotate from side to side, look up and down, tilt side to side. Shoulders on a ball joint, more than 90 degrees, up, down, around. Bicep cut, doesn't move all the way around. Double jointed elbows. His wrists can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Torso seems to be one solid piece. It's got a ball joint in its waist, rotate around, forward and back a little bit. Legs, They go out this far. They would go more, but they're obstructed by his jacket. But I don't think they would go much more. Forward, about that far. Back, not too much. Single jointed knees with rotation. Then his ankle here. Forward and back. Tilt a little bit. Rotate a little bit. And toe articulation. Here's this gray variant penguin next to the standard version. Then, next to the DC Direct version. He may look a little bit better, but he doesn't move nearly as good as McFarlane's version. And DC Direct made 2 variations of the Arkham City penguin. McFarlane has made 1 other penguin figure so far, and he was from the Batman the movie. And here are all my different penguin action figures from various companies. Here's Bruce Wayne with a couple of new Arkham City inmates. They're getting ready to be released into the city. Bruce Wayne looks toward Jack Ryder and says, "When they open the doors, do not panic. Stay behind me." Jack Ryder says, "You think I'm going to take advice from some guy who's never been in a fight before?" As you can see, there are a ton of Arkham City inmates. They're ready to welcome them to the city. To their surprise, Bruce Wayne makes quick work of the Arkham inmates. After Bruce Wayne takes out the Arkham City inmates, Penguin and his henchmen come busting through the door. He's eager to pay some revenge to Bruce Wayne. As he's confronting Bruce Wayne, one of Penguin's henchmen sneaks up behind him with a bat and takes him out. When he comes to, Penguin is trying to beat Bruce Wayne senseless. Bruce Wayne quickly gets the upper hand, takes out all of Penguin's henchmen, and then the Penguin himself. It's at this point that Alfred has a suit delivered to Bruce Wayne in Arkham City. He is now suited up and ready to go. Here's Penguin with his henchmen, his entire gang in Arkham City. They're at the museum. A closer look at Penguin and some of his men. And then Batman comes to the museum. He's taking Penguin down. He's not taking no for an answer. Penguin has lots of tricks up his sleeve. He shoots down this Titan henchman, even more for Batman to deal with. Here's Grundy in another setting, sort of a castle or dungeon type setting. Very appropriate for Grundy. Here's Solomon Grundy, chained up on a wall. He's held there below the Penguin's base in the Museum of Gotham. Here's Penguin approaching his new prized possession. He inherited this giant zombie monster with his property of the museum. Penguin keeps jabbing Grundy with his umbrella. He's trying to piss him off, keep him angry, keep him brutal and ruthless. Later on, during the events of the game, Batman ends up falling through the ceiling. He lands next to Solomon Grundy and is shocked at what he finds. Grundy breaks free and starts to attack this Batman. He's got these chains with these giant balls at him, these swings toward Batman. A closer look at Grundy reaching toward Batman. And after Batman takes out Grundy, he still has to deal with a pissed off Penguin with a rocket launcher. Not to mention Joker, Hugo Strange, and Ra's al Ghul. Now let's get Solomon Grundy put together. I've already built the regular version, and I'll tell you, he's crazy undersized compared to the source material, but still a very good looking figure. So we'll start off with the legs. Batman, the first of 4 figures, comes with Solomon Grundy's legs. And then the second figure, Catwoman, she comes with Grundy's torso. It's kind of interesting, the blue paint splatter in the middle there. Put Batman and Catwoman's pieces together, and this is what we've got so far. Grundy's starting to take some shape. And then the third figure, Ra's al Ghul, comes with Solomon Grundy's arms. Connect the arms, and here's what we've got. Looks a little bit weird in the shoulder area, but it won't look that way when you attach the jacket. And the final figure, Penguin, comes with Grundy's head and jacket. And here's Solomon Grundy completed. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. Well, this one was born on Thursday. Let's take a look. Start with the head here. It looks great. Zombified, hair in disarray, sort of spiked. I mean, the detailing is phenomenal on this guy, even though he is about half the size he should be. You can see his stitched chest here. The blue splatter over there. Blue splatter on one hand and the other. He's got chains around his wrists. More stitching on his biceps. Single jointed elbow. Single jointed knee. Ton more stitching on his legs. Sort of Frankenstein-esque monster. Rope belt. The texturing on his jacket is very nice. It's a very good figure. It'll work better as a fill-in for a comic Solomon Grundy just because of the size. But if you're actually looking at Arkham City figures, they really, really have scale issues, especially when it comes to Grundy. My word. He's literally half as tall as he should be. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Now for his height. From bottom to top of his head, standing about 8.0 inches tall, 20 centimeters. Now that is the biggest complaint about this guy. He should be a good 15 inches tall, way bigger, way wider. But they had to work with the Build-A-Figure concept. In my opinion, they shouldn't have even done Grundy if he's going to be this small, at least not from Arkham City. And now for his articulation. Start with his head, rotate from side to side, up and down, tilt a little bit, shoulders, ball joint, goes out pretty far. You can see the big gap, but you'll never see it when his arm's down. Up, down, around, no bicep cut, single jointed elbow with rotation. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Torso seems to be one solid piece. Ball joint his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Legs, you can go out about this far. Typical McFarlane joint inside there. Forward, not too much. Single jointed knee with rotation. Then his ankle here. Forward, back, tilt, rock. No traditional rotation and toe articulation. Here's this Grundy next to the original version, the regular paint variation. Here's this Solomon Grundy next to the DC Direct Arkham City Grundy. This is how big he should have been. Now I get it. They're not going to fit Build-A-Figure pieces into the figures boxes like this. He should have been a mega figure. He should have been a super duper mega figure. Build-A-Figure and mega figure are insufficient for Arkham City Grundy. They should have either not made him or done it differently. Just my 2 cents. Do not misunderstand me. The Grundy we got, albeit way too small, is a good looking figure and will be a nice fill-in for a comic Grundy. Here's this new McFarlane Grundy next to the Mattel DC Multiverse Grundy. He was for 4-inch figures and is about 6 inches tall because he's so large next to them. Here are all of my different Solomon Grundy figures from various companies. Here's Grundy in another setting, sort of a castle or dungeon type setting. Very appropriate for Grundy. Here's Solomon Grundy, chained up on a wall. He's held there below the Penguin's base in the Museum of Gotham. Here's Penguin approaching his new prized possession. He inherited this giant zombie monster with his property of the museum. Penguin keeps jabbing Grundy with his umbrella. He's trying to piss him off, keep him angry, keep him brutal and ruthless. Later on, during the events of the game, Batman ends up falling through the ceiling. He lands next to Solomon Grundy and is shocked at what he finds. Grundy breaks free and starts to attack this Batman. He's got these chains with these giant balls at him, these swings toward Batman. A closer look at Grundy reaching toward Batman. And after Batman takes out Grundy, he still has to deal with a pissed off Penguin with a rocket launcher. Not to mention Joker, Hugo Strange, and Ra's al Ghul. Here's a look at this entire wave in an Arkham Asylum type of background. I thought they looked a little better without the inmates in the background, as the color scheme matched the asylum. But here they are, with a couple of orange suit inmates. So these figures are based off of Batman Arkham City, but they're black and white, gray variants. Next, I'm going to show all the different McFarlane video game figures, starting off with the Arkham Asylum collection. I don't really think it's necessary to compare these guys with action figures from different various companies. If you really want to see that, you can check out the individual videos with the color versions. Here's McFarlane's entire Batman Arkham Asylum collection. It's really essentially 3 characters: Killer Croc, Batman, and the Joker. I would love it if they would give us Scarecrow and Harley Quinn from Arkham Asylum. Here's McFarlane's entire Arkham City collection: Penguin, Catwoman, Ra's al Ghul, Batman, Solomon Grundy, and Infected Joker. We're going to be getting an Arkham City Riddler in the near future, and I hope they continue with the Batman Rogues for that game. Here are the figures McFarlane has made from Arkham Origins. Just Deathstroke. The designs of Arkham Origins are awesome. I really hope they give us some more characters in that game. And now, here's McFarlane's Arkham Knight collection. Red Hood, Scarecrow, Batman, and the Arkham Knight. Next figure we're going to be getting is Batman Earth 2 skin from the Arkham Knight game. Hope they do a bunch of skin variants, but more importantly, I hope they do a whole bunch more villains for that game. Here's McFarlane's Gotham Knights collection. We have the core 4 main heroes, Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, and Red Hood. It doesn't look like they're going to make any more figures from this game, but I personally would love Clayface and Talon. Here's McFarlane's Injustice 2 collection. Gorilla Grodd, Dr. Fate, Reverse Flash, Flash, Batman, and Green Arrow. The next couple of Injustice figures they're making is going to be Super Pearl and another version of Dr. Fate. And finally, here's the McFarlane Mortal Kombat 11 DC offerings, Joker, and the Batman Who Laughs. Now those are all the different DC games that McFarlane has made figures from. I bet anything they're going to give us figures from the upcoming Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. Time will tell. Overall, these are some cool figures. I thought it was a very solid wave when the regular versions came out. Now these versions are definitely not necessary. They're cool for a completist like me, or maybe a nice little sort of black and white display, but I imagine most people are not going to be interested in these. And there's probably going to be some people that buy them on accident, not even realizing what they are. Grundy is probably the coolest of these guys. The little blue effects look pretty nice on him. I do like the blood splatter on Batman's face also. Penguin seems kind of the dullest of the 5. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.